Any changes to your administrative staff, namely Tim Jackson, will he be reassigned at all?
Tim will no longer be a part of the football program.
What's the reason for that?
Hang on, I got everybody. What, Mike?
What's the reason for why he won't be assigned to the football program?
A lot of what Tim's job has been in Tigers Unlimited facilities, game day operations, and it's time for a change.
Jay, you said that there's no interim coach, but who's in charge of the kids as of today and the days to come?
I'll know better tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, what I told the assistant coaches is that you have the option to stay here and continue to work, and my sense of it is that some of those guys are going to stay here and keep up with those with our current football players. And same thing I told our football players earlier today as well. Some of those guys will be here, and when we find out exactly who that is, if not all of them, we'll have a structure in place to make sure that these guys are getting everything that they need, because that's our commitment to our student athletes.
That sort of leads to, I was going to ask sort of the same thing, but as relates to recruiting, as far as who is sort of spearheading the effort with recruits.
Well, it'll depend on our coach's bill. If some of those guys stay here and want to continue to contact the recruits, but anytime you go through a change like this, recruiting is an issue. You're always concerned about it, but when we hire the right coach and get them in here in due time, Auburn is such a great place to come and be a part of, that they'll be able to hit the ground running and get the recruits we need to build on our success for 2010.
You said it came down to winning and losing, but when players are getting arrested in the off-field troubles, how much of a concern was that for you before the losing?
Yeah, his question was winning and losing or some other things, and I can't remember exactly what he asked, John.
Off-field problems.
Yeah, but specifically, the whole thing was my issue. All of that came into play.
Along those lines, Jay, when a respected former player comes out and says he's seen some issues with the accountability and the structure within the program, is that going to be a big focus to improve the structure from top to bottom?
Well, we'll certainly bring in a head coach and let him evaluate what he thinks the structure needs to be, and we'll support him in that.
How did the players react to the news at the meeting earlier today?
I really don't want to talk too much about my meeting with the players, because that's really between us. But I'll tell you this, that they're a class group. One of them came up to me after it was over and said, hey, Mr. Jacobs, we're going to all stick together. We love Auburn, and we're all going to be here. So, and they were all lined up out down the hallway after it was over, going to shake Gene's hand. So, other than that, I'm not going to say.
How did you come up with the search committee, and how long was it formed?
How do we come up with the search committee? Dr. Gouge and I sat and talked about who it should be, who it could be, what will put us in the best position to bring in the best coach for Auburn.
And how long has it been formed?
I talked to all three of them this morning, or sometime today, not necessarily this morning. I've talked to all three of them. But, when a couple of weeks ago, you always have to be proactive and not reactive. I started formulating, who would be on it and who would not. And I reached out to a couple of these guys and asked them that if we were to go this direction, would you be a part of it? Because it's always easier to not have a search committee than have one. So if we'd gone a different direction, it's easy to disengage them. It would have been more difficult to get them up and running. So,
Jay, sorry if I missed this before, but who
Sure.
else is going to be part of the committee besides those three?
myself.
So just you four?
Yes, us four, yeah. Matt Crawford, Bo Jackson, Pat Sullivan, and myself will be the committee.
Obviously, the other three names on the search committee are people we all know. We'll talk about Matt Crawford.
Sure. Mac was a fullback here, Walter Gilbert Award winner here at Auburn. And I think you all should have his bio possibly. Do you, JG?
Yeah, how do you get involved in this, at this level?
Yeah. He is a CEO turnaround expert. And we probably need a little turnaround here. And he is very objective, non-emotional guy, business oriented, business sense, business savvy, and is well respected by the Auburn football community. It's really a blessing to have Mac as part of this. We all know Bo and Pat. Certainly having Pat as a current head coach is awful helpful when you're sitting talking to potential head coaches. And certainly Bo brings something completely to the table, and Mac does as well.
Jay, what's the
Come back to you.
What was the conversation with Gene like? I know you guys are close, but how did he take it? And what was he going through? I guess what did you guys talk about?
Sure. Happy to, Mike. We've been talking for several weeks, and almost daily. And he's a class guy. He knows the business, and he knows that if you don't win enough, you don't get to stay. So he loves Auburn, and wants to stay here until he gets another job, and wants to help any way he can. Just class and character, integrity, same as he always has been.
Would you guys go use some search firm help as well, like you have in the past, to help you find them?
From time to time, we always reach out to experts, and we'll do that in this case as well.
President Gouge, a week ago, outlined the factors that he looks at in terms of what he wants in a good athletic director as far as compliance, game day experience, winning and all that.
Mhm.
How do you feel about those factors?
Yeah, well, the five goals that we have are winning, rules compliance, as you mentioned, game day experience, graduating our student athletes, and how we do financially. And fortunately for the last 10 years, we've been able to put money in the bank. As I've said repeatedly, I have the utmost confidence in our NCAA rules compliance. Winning, we've won 22 SEC championships and 12 national championships over the last 8 years. I think 22 puts us in fourth in the league, and I think 12 national championships puts us in top in the league. Graduating our student athletes, we've got 51% of our student athletes with a 3.0 or better. But when you have a bad season, things go bad. Everything gets questioned as it should be. And we have room for improvement, but we're committed to making those improvements and doing what's necessary to compete at the highest level.
With the game day experience part of it, were you concerned when you saw the stands empty out, at halftime, a lot of those SEC games this year?
Well, the stands being empty and the score on the scoreboard, all that concerned me.
This is a pretty big decision. I'm sure you didn't make it lightly. But so how are you hoping changing the coaching staff will improve the football players' performance?
Okay. Well, historically, when there was a change made after the 80 season, 3 years later, we won the SEC championship. After a couple of bad years in 91 and 92, we went undefeated in 93 with the changing coaches. Both those are changing coaches. After a 2003 year that some say weren't very good, we go undefeated in 2004 with the change, with the same coach. And then in 2008, we won 5 games, and then 2 years later, won a national championship. So history, to some degree, dictates that change can be a catalyst for helping you be more successful. But the overall picture, the things that John mentioned, and the winning and the off-the-field things and fundamentals of football, it was a decision that had to be made sooner than later.
Jacobs Chizik was your handpicked guy, obviously,
Mhm.
4 years ago. For
Right.
his tenure, we had to pull the plug on his tenure this early. I mean, how much more difficult did that make it?
Well, it's always difficult when you have to fire somebody and all the families it impacts. That's difficult. And but that's the business we're in. Doesn't make it any less easy. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier. It's difficult. But we support our athletic programs at the highest level, and we expect success at the highest level. I'm grateful of what Gene has done. Won 3 bowl games over 4 years, won a national championship. I just regret the way it ended. I guess if in 2008, if somebody had said in 4 years you're going to win 3 bowls and a national championship and have 1 bad year, would you have taken it? I think a lot of us Auburn people would have said we'd taken it. But I just regret the way it ended with a 3-9 season.
Jay, just to clarify with Tim Jackson, will he still be with the athletic department at the university?
Yes, he'll still be with the athletics department.
Good time for a few more.
Assistant coaches, to go back to that, they can stay if they want until a new head coach is hired.
That's right, Mike. Mm-hmm.
And the head coach, will he have a pretty good say in their role as far as the future of this program?
On the current assistant coaches?
The new head coach deciding the current assistant.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's his decision, the new head coach's decision.
Anything else?
Is there a style of play that you prefer? Because you've seen both kind of the smash mouth work around the league, but you've also seen some spread. Is there a certain mentality you want a coach to bring in offensively or defensively?
Not really, John.
Physical?
Just physical. Statistically speaking, the defensive teams get to the SEC championship. But when you look out there now and you see all the spread offenses, people scoring points, can you find a fine balance of that But we're gonna find the best coach we possibly can for Auburn.
Jay, you said you want to find the best.
Hey, Mike, let me go with
You
you.
said you want to find the best coach possible, but how important is it for them to understand the culture here at Auburn because of everything that you guys have talked about over the last couple of years?
I think it's important, but I think they're people that can be fast learners. Who's asking something? Beg your pardon?
How much his buyout will be?
Whose buyout?
Chizik's?
Well, it's spread out over the next 4 years. If he doesn't ever go to work again, I believe it's $7.2 million.
Jay, one more, back to the style. Do you prefer an offensive or defensive-minded coach, or just back?
We'll probably talk to both, Bill. Just see who the best coach is for Auburn.
All right, Jay, thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.